We should really do it that way since we have the same pairings throughout each week instead of like highlighting the day before if we weren't on it.
Unless we lose.
Yeah, right.
Blame it on Aton.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Odd Shop. Hey, open the doors, take a seat, step inside. Let's shop some odds. It's the dumbest intro ever, but for some reason,
Good.
I mean, that would be so good in like the 90s. That would just be a great intro. Hey, the doors are open. Take a seat, step inside, and let's shop some odds. It's like the old Howard Stern clips where Richard and Sal used to do the prank calls and they'd go on to like Swap Shop or Tradio. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I wasn't listening. I was, you said Howard Stern?
The old Howard Stern prank calls where Richard and Sal would like prank call Swap Shop and Tradio and like, hey, welcome to Tradio. Come on in and let's see what we can find. Yeah, it would have been perfect. But anyway, I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D on Twitter. Also hanging out in Chalkboard every day. We're up over 1,000. Dude, we're at 1,100 now. We're just crushing it lately. Snowball, as Ben likes to say, critical mass, baby. Appreciate all you guys joining. You guys have been massively supportive and helped us a ton. Build up a free community. Everything's free. Links down below. Picks are free. Chat is free forever, not just right now. But joining me, Ben Rasa, Jazzraz DFS, as always. Jack of all trades, master of many, as everybody likes to say. Or just me. What's going on, dude?
What's going on? Yeah, feeling good. Start of a new week. A lot going on. A ton of, because the national championship was last night. No NBA, and they are back with, it feels like 50 games somehow. Of course, baseball never ends. It's the Masters. Oh, yeah. A lot to get to. Hockey playoffs soon enough.
DraftKings has got that whole plus 1,000, what are they calling it? Like a super boost or something on if you pick the winner.
You get like plus, I think it's an extra plus 300 to any
golfer. If you're a new user on DraftKings.
Oh, well,
plus
I don't know.
1,000.
There you go. I'm not a new user, sadly.
You think that's like a worthwhile promo? Pick the winner.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. Obviously, picking winners in golf is a little different. You're talking like what?
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, you hit one or two a year, that'll work. But
would you play those boosts as like, all right, let me just boost, the shortest odds, like, or would you go for some long odds here? If you're playing like a plus 300 boost that's being given out to even existing users on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Again, we're going to talk about some of the boosts. I definitely think you need to evaluate some of them, but I'm actually pretty interested in some of the PGA offerings that are out there. There's some good ones. You mentioned the add 3-1. So if you're going to take one of the favorites, that really makes a difference. If you're taking a guy 100-1, getting him 103-1, that's not going to move the needle too much.
Anyway, happy to have you guys with us. Let me hit that thumbs up. Almost forgot. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And let's get into it. All that stuff, greatly appreciated. So 13 games today in the NBA. We're at that time now where you've got the NBA in just bullshit mode, but it doesn't mean you can't still find some great bets. As a matter of fact, I think you can find some great stuff out there. You just have to be on it. Like some of these, I'm gonna be as close as I can be today. Like, even if I'm not going to be at my computer all night, but I'll have my phone with me. I have notifications on already, Ben. I do every day at 24 hours a day. I just turn my phone into sleep mode at 10 o'clock so I don't get inundated with that stuff. But you turn the notifications on for injuries. You're going to get some great opportunities. I'm almost positive with 13 games that stuff is going to open up. You also got a ton of baseball today as well. It's a Tuesday, which means a ton of games. So I don't think we're going to see any shortage of opportunities to find some good, very positive ROI bets today on OddsShopper and elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. I love days like this because you can take out the ROIs and all that. Obviously, when the bets are there, the bets are there. But you have the luxury here. You can kind of pick and choose what you genuinely like to bet, and you're going to find some positive ROIs. Some days, it's like, all right, there's only a couple bets, that are really worthwhile, and it's strikeout props. Not my favorite. Here, you can find any category, any sport, because there's just so many games to choose from. So it's absolutely loaded. These, I will say, just to complain a little bit, because I do have to get some complaints into the show. These NBA spreads are getting, even for the NBA, this is ridiculous. This is like college basketball style. I can't remember seeing as many teams like 20-point underdog style. I mean, this is unbelievable.
And it's not just 1 or 2 games either.
No, there's like what, 5-6 games that are double-digit spreads?
Yep. Yeah. You got Miami 13.5 against the Pistons. The Bucks 13.5 favorites. By the way, both of those teams are on the road as 13.5 point favorites. Toronto's a 15-point road favorite against the Hornets. Nuggets 9-point road favorites against Houston, and we have no idea if Jokic is going to play. I feel like he could definitely sit this one. Memphis 17.5 point favorites. Lakers 10-point road favorites. Suns 19-point favorites against the Phoenix Suns.
Against the Spurs, yeah, just an absolute.
Sorry, against the Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? That's ridiculous. And then I say that's dumb. Just a couple of days ago, like 2 of the 5 biggest upsets in NBA history occurred on the same day. Did you see those money lines?
Yeah.
I mean, just the Timberwolves. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. So we're gonna have to take that into account. But we'll do it. I mean, there's money to be made. There's no doubt about it. And you mentioned we're gonna get some news, especially at this time of the year. There's going to be value that opens up as we get closer to tip.
Man, I'll tell you what, some of these Rockets props are popping. Absolutely jumping off the board. I hit one earlier. I threw it in chalkboard. I don't know if it's still a plus ROI bet. Let's see if this has moved at all. But Alperen Sengun over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists was one of them. Let's see. Now it's still sitting at that same spot. It's weird. This has been fluctuating up and down from 27 and 28. I still like that quite a bit. But look, if you just go to shop bets, you go to NBA. Wow, there's a 26.5 out there on Sengun, but that's on Unibet where most people are not. If you can be there, you should be, but most people are not. Look at some of these though. Jabari Smith, over points, rebounds, and assists. Bet Rivers, that's 21.5 minus 103. DraftKings has it at 22.5 minus 120. FanDuel or Caesars minus 118 on 22.5. BetMGM 22.5 minus 120. So that's a great spot right there. Shaedon Sharpe rebounds on Portland over 4.5. This is at 5.5 at a lot of books. Look, these are just spots where you're looking at a Houston team and you go, what do I do with them? Well, Steven Silas is still playing them massive minutes. Still playing them huge minutes. And then Shaedon Sharpe, there's 13 guys on the injury report there. So if you're looking at that and you're going, man, 4.5 rebounds for a point guard, he's gone over it in 5 of his last 7 games already. He's played 35 plus minutes in 7 straight games. Just throwing it out there that when you're looking at these, I get why they're coming up as great spots, not just because of what I'm saying, but you're getting big discrepancies across all of these books. It seems like on a lot of Houston players, to be exact.
And it's not overly surprising. The thing I do like about this, again, the value is the value. We know what we do here. We're shopping against the market. We're trying to take advantage of those bad lines. But it's no surprise to me that guys in, rookies, first-year players, second-year players are the guys that are popping for overs because it's late in the year and these bad teams want to see this. I mean, a guy like Sharpe, Portland's got to be loving this. He's rolling out there 40 minutes a night at times, and he's getting all the usage, and they're getting a lot of data and information about how big of a piece this is for their future. So I think this makes a lot of sense with Jabari Smith, with Sharpe and these type of players, because these teams, although they have nothing to play for, why not roll these guys out even in blowouts? What do they care?
Exactly. And obviously you aren't just running to any book to bet these. Like Kevin Porter Jr. at Bet Rivers is minus 110. Sugar House, Unibet minus 110. As I've mentioned many times before, they're all those guys, they all pull the same lines from the same place. So they're always going to be the same. FanDuel's got that at 19.5 though. And a lot of times on these, you're going to see that the line is different, right? Like a 19.5 and an 18.5, but the over 18.5 is juiced heavily to the over. And then the 19.5 is going to be heavy to the under. Here, you've got FanDuel at over 19.5 minus 115. Bet Rivers and a bunch of other books have it at 18.5 minus 110.
Anytime you see that, that's an immediate red flag in a good way. Like when you're stealing points on both sides in terms of the actual number you need and the juice that you're paying, that just, something is off. Like, how is it possible that he's, according to the books, on certain books, less likely to go over a shorter number? I mean, that just doesn't make sense logically. How could he be less likely to go over 18.5 than 19.5? And that's what that small discrepancy in the juice is saying. And that's why we know right off the bat, the 18.5 at minus 110 is where we want to jump.
I'm actually trying to bet this right now as we speak. What's that?
I say you're a professional. You can do two things at once.
I can. We'll get them both in, man.
I'm looking at Mike Conley rebounds. God, there's so many weird ones on the board tonight.
I'm going to be on a lot of Houston overs on Bet Rivers. I can tell you that much. That doesn't feel good.
The team. No, it doesn't feel good, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, but if I'm just getting better, I'm getting way better odds here than I am anywhere else. I've been loving Bet Rivers and like, Sugar House and Unibet. I right now it's hard not to feel decent about some of these books that are going to give you, especially when I look at FanDuel. You and I talked about this the other day. Like FanDuel, you sent me a thread that had said like FanDuel's props have been very sharp for NBA, right? FanDuel's NBA props. I don't know how about MLB right now. It's super early in the year as well, but like their NBA props have been very sharp. So if I'm getting over 21.5 on Jabari Smith points, rebounds, or use Kevin Porter over 18.5 at minus 110, and I see that FanDuel has it at 19.5 at minus 115, it honestly just makes me even more inclined to bet that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, and that's where, depending on what you're doing, if you're in our communities and whatnot, getting the data, syncing your data, tracking your data, that'll tell the tale. Like you don't, I say this a lot, like you don't have to be profitable on every sport, on every book. You just need to know where you are in fact profitable and then bet there and bet those sports. So like that's something that's very, very important and what we're doing here. But it's just, this does have an element of like, do you get overwhelmed? I do get like minor anxiety with days like this because there are so many bets to choose from and you can't get to all of them. It can get difficult to prioritize.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what I do? Honestly, I incessantly refresh like an OCD person, and I'm just continuing to find the top like 3 ROI, expected ROI NBA bets. That's what I'm doing like at all times, and the top ROI bet from 1 minute to the next minute could just be way different. Like a plus 9% ROI bet could be -2 once the books change. I'll give you an example. These props, these lines are changing in real time. I just went to Bet Rivers and we had Kevin Porter at minus 110. It's at minus 130 now. Jabari Smith was at minus 103. It's at minus 130 now. And that was within a minute of me refreshing. That's why you got to be quick. Like I'm not betting. I could still bet them. There's still positive ROI, but it was a lot better literally 1 minute ago.
No, it's just really important. I bring that up, A, to kind of subliminally tell myself, don't do anything stupid tonight. And B, just, you have to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to get to everything, and that's fine. Let me get the ones that I can get. Let me stay within my game plan of, how many units you're allocating for a night. Because if you don't, you're going to be continuously chasing it, and then you're going to get sloppy and mistakes will happen. So on a night like tonight in particular, you're going to miss some. There's no doubt about it, but there's going to be 10 more right at the top if you keep refreshing. So just be cognizant of that when you go to build your card out tonight.
Ben Ford said, Ben Rasa, what do you think about Giannis? What are all the stars for?
I don't know. Maybe that's a way to get I enlighten us on the stars. Yeah, for Giannis, it's always scary. I feel like this has come up on the show either with Eitan or with you. Going under these points, rebounds, assists for Giannis is a dangerous game, but it does grade out over on FanDuel at minus 115 as a potential play. So if you are inclined to roll the dice and hope that he plays 26 minutes because they win by 50, that's probably where I'd go if I bet a Giannis prop tonight.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, though.
Doesn't feel good.
No.
I look, that Giannis under always seems to be popping up just because there seems to be a lot of discrepancies on books when it comes to Giannis. Like you could see a lot of 48s and a halves and 50 and a halves too. So yeah, it's going to draw in some appeal. 6% expected ROI right now, under 49 and a half.
The thing though to really keep in mind with like someone like that, obviously they're all small edges. When you lose that prop, it automatically means that Giannis had a monster game, because to get over that number, it's going to be a big time game, and you can't really beat yourself up about that. You just have to take the long-term view. I know it feels like he goes over that number every night, but he actually doesn't. Like if you take the small sample size of what he's been doing recently, he grades out fine here. It's just unfortunate when he goes over because you just feel so dumb because he has 35, 15, and 10.
Exactly. By the way, Jabari Smith, 20 and a half. Remember I just told you it's minus 103, minus 130. It's at 21 and a half already.
Yeah, they make the move.
Yeah, and they're clearly making these moves as quick as possible because let me ask you this. When they're making these moves, how much of it is because these props are getting hammered and how much of it is because they're seeing what other books have?
I think it's a little combination of both. Obviously, when a wave of people, we're not the only people in the world who have discovered that there's a big edge by doing this. Again, if you want to see for yourself, the link is below. You follow along with your free trial, 7 days. But there are other people doing this. People have been doing this for a long time. So the books, when an avalanche comes in on an obscure prop, they're not morons. They're going to move it. And that's why when this updates in real time, you want to take advantage of it. You want to be ready to go. You can't be just saying, oh, I'll get to that in 20 minutes. That's not how this works.
It'll be gone. Long gone. Any other spots that jump off the page? Like there's a couple here. There's a couple out here that are interesting. Now, depending on what state you're in, if you're using OddsShopper, first week is entirely free, by the way. Link in the description. Mike can throw it in the chat. First week's free. It's an insanely powerful tool. Not to mention the fact that we have the parlay builder, the no house advantage builder, the PrizePicks parlay builder, the odds boost evaluator, all that stuff is in here as well. So if you're looking to build parlays or you just want to use it for PrizePicks, right? Like you're playing seriously on PrizePicks, maybe you're not in a legal betting state. All of that is on here. First week, 100% free. In the link is in the description and in chat. Are we still doing the 50% off the first month?
I don't know.
We are? All right. You get 50% off the. Yeah, we'll check if the link's down there, then it is. But yeah, so all that's in there. I can't help but look at this James Harden over points, rebounds, and assists. Now I have a mental block because the Sixers are garbage against Boston. Like this team, they cannot beat Boston. It's insane. They cannot beat the Boston Celtics. It certainly doesn't mean that James Harden can't clear 35 and a half. And if you're getting it at a good spot, well, it's worthwhile. FanDuel's got it. FanDuel's got a 35 and a half minus 120. DraftKings 36 and a half minus 105. Caesars 36 and a half minus 111. No House Advantage and Underdog both have it at 36 and a half. Yeah, so like I guess the James Harden spot is a good bet, 6% ROI. But again, like you said, you're not betting everything. Do you ever use any type of like personal discernment when it comes to which of these spots you want to hit if there's like 5 bets with 6+% expected ROI?
So that's the key point there is what you brought up last, in my opinion. It's a slippery slope. If you're using like personal, whatever, your own data, your own intuition, and you say, okay, this bet is 11% ROI, but I'm going to take this other one that grades out as a negative 7% ROI because I like it better. That's not going to work out well. If you take 2 bets and the ROI is the same within a percent or it's equal, I see no problem saying, you know what? I personally prefer this one because ultimately it's going to grade out about the same. And if you have a little lean yourself, why not go with the one you're more comfortable with? I do that all the time, but within reason. Don't, I'm going to take this crazy prop that grades out negative just because I think it. That's probably not going to work out in the long run.
Calvin Weeks, Ben, we got to get you in the chalkboard app more frequently to post.
I know.
He says it's lots of fun. Yeah, I was talking to Ben about that. Ahead of the show. There, some conflicts there, but I think it's gonna happen. People would like to see you in there. You know what I mean?
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
All right. Any other? And I'm refreshing here just to look at this. Also, we're hitting at least one ladder play today. Maybe we go to a little Joval ladder. I do want to look.
Oh
Look,
no.
look. You and I have gone 2 for 2, and not you and I. You, me, and the chat and the audience, the community has gone back-to-back 3-leg community parlays. We've hit them both on Tuesday and Thursday, the 2 days that we're on together. So looking for the hat trick today. Keep that one rolling. But I also think it's worthwhile to look at some wild stuff as well. We had a guy on our chalkboard the other day post the Corey Kispert threes ladder up to 5, and it hit in the first half, Ben. So man,
That's
yeah,
okay.
tough to follow that up. But I don't think it would be a show with you and me if we weren't looking at least one 3-point ladder and at least one rebounds or point ladder from possibly Jonas Valanciunas.
Oh, we got to do it. And yeah, we were talking a little before the show about that. Our community parlays have been on fire, you and me in the community. So we're going to keep that going. We're going to see what we can do. Not sure where we're going to end up because there's a lot of sports. I might come in with something from the clouds later in the show, but where do you want to go next? You want to stick in the NBA? You want to take it somewhere else?
It's up to you, man. Your call here. You tell me what you want to do, and I'll go along for the ride on this one.
Well, I do want to ask you because you've had a knack for these. Vooch is maybe a guy that could be a candidate, and I'm leading you to potential double doubles, combos,
I love
things like that. Yeah, Vooch is a guy I have my eye on, and he's at over 30.5 points, rebounds, assists at -125 on BetMGM. Inherently, I just like the situation for him as well.
It's a great spot because they're playing at a 95 pace since the start of March. They're essentially tied for the slowest team in the league, playing at a crawling pace. Atlanta plays insanely fast. They won't have Trey today, right? So that's one thing, but they're still going to play at an elevated pace. That's my only concern, though, is their offense going to struggle to where Chicago is okay slowing it down? Because if Trey's out there with Murray, they have to, that offense is very good. Their defense stinks, but maybe Chicago doesn't have to push the pace quite as much tonight. It's still a pace up spot. I did like the over 16.5 points on Nikola Vucevic today. Plus he's gone over that 9 and 14 games this month or over the last month. What do his, he's at 17.5 now. Anyway, that came up.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's at, let's see what we got here. Double for Vooch. Scrolling, we've got, that's a tough number. -160 on DraftKings to double.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good bet.
I mean, like the books are indicating, he's more likely to double than not. I'm just not sure how much there's wiggle room there. -160 is a different type of break even.
Where's he at on rebounds?
Just a straight rebounds prop?
Well, he's 10.5. I'm looking at FanDuel, -108. Vooch, 14 plus rebounds, +290. 16 plus is +650. My concern with Joval is that Larry Nance has been back and closing games out. I think that could really hurt those Joval minutes. So if we're doing rebound ladders, you and I got to be like, we got to get better odds, longer odds than we did last time we were doing this when he was playing 35 minutes a day consistently.
Yeah, I think we kind of, I'm looking to more cash in my Joval dividends than push it tonight. I think there's some other guys in some other games that potentially would be better candidates for like a rebound ladder or something like that.
You know what rebound ladder is actually interesting to me? And this is kind of hedging on the thought of, does Nikola Jokic play or not? What about Şengün?
So, man, I almost just said, because you'd mentioned him earlier. So he's at 8.5, right? Yeah, 8.5. I had it right here. That is an interesting one. He's someone that you were talking about his overs in general. You're getting some room there too, because he's not nearly as likely to go, into the double-double category as a guy like Vooch.
All right, let's see. Where are we at? Also, Şengün has been playing a lot of minutes lately. He's been a stud. 15 rebounds 15, 13, 12 over his last three. Big double doubles in 3 straight games, 33, 35, 38 minutes. And one of those he would have played more minutes had it not been a blowout. The Nuggets too are, how about this, man? The Nuggets at home are 33-7. Okay. On the road, they're 19-19.
Yeah.
Like they're a 500 team away from home. I don't know if Jokic plays today. Şengün is a player I think that could have, this is a risky one. Like if Jokic sits, the rebounding opportunities for Şengün could look even better. There's no doubt. But let's see. Plus 300 for 12 plus rebounds. He's done that in 3 straight games. Now, Denver is a good rebounding team. They limit opponent rebounds pretty well, but Jokic plays a big role in that. So keep that in mind. What's he at for? All right, 14 plus rebounds. Şengün is plus 700.
Not bad. Plus 150 to double-double for him as well, if you want to go a different direction.
What is
I get it. What'd you say?
What's the double-double?
Plus 150.
I don't mind that at all.
That's what I'm saying, because that's a more reasonable target. You're not going to get the, what'd you say, 7-1, like of something, but 10 rebounds. And obviously, I think the points are pretty secure. The other thing, again, the Nuggets are a pretty big favorite, but there's a big difference between being a 9-point favorite, or in the Rockets' case, a 9-point dog, and being like a 19-point dog in the case of the Spurs. Like, yes, the game could blow out, but more likely than not, this game stays a lot closer than some of these other ridiculous spreads.
John Roy said, no Trae Young for the Hawks. Bulls need this game to make the playoffs as the 10th seed to make the play-ins, really. Not really, though. I get what you're saying, but they're 4 games up over the Wizards right now with 4 games to play. It seems unlikely, Ben, that with Porzingis and Beal and Kuzma out, who knows if those guys return even, that the Bulls are looking at them and thinking they're nipping at their heels right now. 4 games to go, 4 games up, and Washington's waving the white flag. So I don't really look much into that.
Some of these teams, I mean, it's absurd. Not that the Mavericks deserve any of our airtime, but like, what a disaster that side of it is.
Truly a disaster. You're talking about in the West. Yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah. They're going to shut. I mean, Lucas says he's going to play through it. It's only 3 games, but like, you got to be kidding me. Couldn't catch the Thunder.
They've dropped 3 straight games, and they're now behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is remarkable.
It was the double sweep of when the Hornets came in. That was the catalyst for epic disaster.
Yep. Hey, Calvin Weeks, man, I like this thought. I like this thought quite a bit.
See?
No, on what?
I thought you were talking about Mikhailuk's 3-point ladder.
No, not Mikhailuk, but Brandon Ingram points could ladder up to 40 plus 160. Kings defense is terrible. Yes, it is. Ingram has been on fire recently. Yeah, he is. And he said hot streak could end at any point, though. Of course, yeah, that's the problem with hot streaks is they're just not quantifiable. But he has been truly dominant. His usage is sitting around 34% since he returned from that 2-game ankle injury, absence from the ankle. That is actually a very interesting spot to look into some potential ladders, or just looking into overs. I don't think you need to get insane here, but yeah, he's been phenomenal, man. I've been betting the over on points, rebounds, and assists recently on Ingram because he's been the primary playmaker, even ahead of CJ McCollum, and he's operating with a usage rate well over 30%. This game has a 236.5 point total, pace up spot for the Pelicans against a bad Kings defense, but a great Kings offense. It is an interesting spot for sure.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, Ingram, the one thing, and I agree, it's not quantifiable, a hot streak, but the one thing that I think you can take is if he gets going early, the usage is going to be there. Like when you're on a roll like that, if you continue, it seems pretty good that volume's not going to be an issue. So we had some good suggestions. I'm fine with Ingram. We had Bridges is a guy that's made a lot of people a lot of money across our communities. Some major usage there. These are the type of guys. I think we have the right formula, at least. Guys with serious upside with these ladders. That is always the number one priority when you're trying to cash the plus money, like plus 650 for 40 points.
Yeah. Ingram plus 230 for 35 points. Just goes to show you how this guy's been playing. 40 plus points is plus 650. Oof. Yeah, man. This is an interesting one, to say the least. Any other spots you want to look at before we look towards a little baseball? We can get back into basketball too. I'm constantly refreshing this.
Yeah, nothing else really. We had a question about Sabonis and Brooks and Ingram. I think I'm more drawn to Ingram. We just talked about him. He's playing fantastic. Kind of like them in this game. Not that it's anything too special. They're 3.5. There is 3.5 out there. If you can find the Pelicans at minus 3.5, even if at minus 115, I think that's a bet. Move to 4 everywhere else, and that's the side I wanted to begin with. So it'll be interesting. Not a discussion for right now, but I'm fascinated to see the Kings playoff series odds when we get there, because looking at the Western Conference Finals odds and to get out of the West, the Kings, who are going to be like the 3, have the 7th best odds.
I know. Yeah,
not a lot of love out there.
And what are it's not even that it's 7th and it's tight. Aren't they massively long odds compared to the rest to a handful of those other teams?
Big drop. Now they are taking some money and they've come down a little bit, but still, like, there's several teams. I'm just fascinated to see, will the Kings be dogs in their opening series?
If
they are, I'm going to bet them, and I'm probably going to burn money through that, but
I think they will be. Dude, hold on a second. The opening series could be Kings Warriors. The Kings will definitely be dogs.
I know. But should they be?
Yes. Absolutely.
See, Calvin understands. This is what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I would do to him.
What?
If the Kings play the Warriors, I'm going to bet on them to win the series right before tip-off. The public will obviously pour it in on the Warriors. There will be buyback on Sacramento in that case, but I like the Kings in that opening round series if that's who they got.
I'd probably just stay away from it, but I get where you're going with that. I
like the Kings. I do.
I don't really understand how they get it done. With a defense that bad in the playoffs, going up against a quality defense with Golden State, but also an offense that we saw last year that, that has all of the firepower the Kings have and more, with Curry and Klay Thompson. Wiggins should be back. Draymond Green, just an anchor out there. Kevon Looney, like one of the most unheralded defensive bigs in the league. And then Jordan Poole off the bench. I'm not betting the Kings unless you're betting them like at long odds to win the series. You got to give me good odds for me to bet the Kings against the Warriors.
I mean, obviously experience matters. The Warriors are the ultimate flip the switch team, but I think the Kings are damn good. I really do. We're going to find out.
Calvin Weeks said, I don't even like the Kings necessarily. I just don't like the Warriors. They're the NBA Cowboys. Well, no, the Cowboys can't win a playoff game. The Warriors are NBA champions right now. They're reigning champs. They're not frauds. They're a team that like coasts through the regular season and had a ton of injuries. Let's not forget how much time Curry missed this year, and Thompson was, limited for a long time, and Wiggins has been out forever. I don't know, Ben. We'll see. Maybe we'll put an even money gentleman's bet on this. $100 even money on the series.
Even money? No, I don't think you'll be angle shooting me today, but we'll see what we can do. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be some definite plays from me, particularly in the West. I think there's some really exploitable markets there.
All right. So I just pulled up OddsShopper just to revisit this, to see what we're working with here. And man, those Jamal Murray props were popping. I didn't have time to get in on him, but like 15% XROI, 10% OS bet. So the recommended percent of your, bankroll to put on that. Oof, man, they're gone. They're off the board. PJ Tucker rebounds though is the number one spot right now. Under 4.5 rebounds at -148 on DraftKings. Ben, how you feeling about a little PJ Tucker action?
Yeah, that's my kind of disgusting sweat. Like his sweats are always like over a half assist, over a half a three, under a couple rebound. Like just don't, because he plays major minutes at times and he just like don't do anything. So fine with that. The good thing about that, and again, it's all about the ROI, let's be clear, but it's never a bad thing to have a bet that has a high probability of success. You know, this guy's going to be out there mid 20s, you know, in terms of minutes, but we're talking about a 65-ish% X win. And that's why you're laying the juice. But it's nice to cash the tickets. Like as fun as it is hitting like 50-1 shots, probability of success for a bet like this is much, much higher.
I was looking at his game logs, just curious, like against what he's done against Boston this year. 3 games averaging 8 rebounds. I'm thinking that's insane. But then I see he had 16 in one game, and then he had 4 and 4. Yep. PJ Tucker's 16 boards is preposterous. But I'll tell you this much. Those minutes have been down considerably lately as well. Like this is a guy who was playing a lot of minutes earlier in the year. Now you're talking, you know, mid-20s in minutes from game to game. Will they need the defensive prowess today against Boston? It's certainly possible. But yeah, I don't mind that at all. Plus, like you had said, you're laying what 148, but still a good look. A lot of the best bets on OddsShopper are always juiced. Like you're gonna have to live with that.
Of course, I mean that's one of the biggest, like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's just like, well, oh, like if a team is -275, like can't bet them. You can if the break even should be -400. That's a great bet. Like it's all about figuring out the break even point. So even on something like this, there's a lot of room there. And I actually like this. That was not one that was on my radar. I assume it just appeared. That's one that definitely makes some sense.
Yep, you got it over on FanDuel at -148. I'm going to look to hit that in just a second, but I'll toss this over to you in order for me to make that happen. Baseball bets. And then I want to build out a parlay here. Our boy Aton been putting up numbers on the parlays lately, right?
He has.
Using the OddsShopper tool as well. Like he's going in here. He's going to let's just do this now. I want to see what we can get. Going in here with the OddsShopper tool. Let's go to DraftKings. Pulling it up. And what's he doing? 3 or 4 leggers?
He's been mixing it up, but he's hit a lot of these 4-leggers for sure.
We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 bets right now with 60+% X win. Wait, is that right? That Derek White points plus rebounds and assists? That can't be. Let me make sure this is accurate.
I don't know where you are.
Yeah, and that is right. That just popped up. That's the highest XROI bet right now. Is Derek White under points, rebounds, and assists at 19.5.
Interesting.
Scares me a little bit though, and I'll tell you why. Here's why it scares me a little bit. Because Jaylen Brown is questionable.
Well, that's something you definitely got to be aware of, because when certain books either shade or pull a line off, it can really tilt the market temporarily. So that's one to me, even though it jumps off the page, I would actually say that's a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. I'm not jumping on that right now. If it's there later, I'll examine. And if I miss it, so be it.
I'll tell you what. The last thing I want is to be caught holding the bag in a spot like that. You know, where Jaylen Brown gets ruled out and then Derek White's points, rebounds, and assists goes from 19.5 to 22.5. Just because there's no doubt that he benefits from Brown being out. It's not like Robert Williams or or Al Horford or Grant Williams being out. This is Jaylen Brown. This is a 30% usage guy. If anything, there are ways to exploit that. Like if you like something already, and then the guy getting ruled out helps him.
Yep.
Like, certain overs. The other day, I forget which one it was that I liked a lot. And then, it was Jamal Murray. I already liked it. Got it at 33.5. Jokic gets ruled out. It closes at 37.5. And I still lost. But you'll take that bet 100 times out of 100, right? Like anytime you get that, you're going to take it. But yeah, still lost, of course.
Well, that's how that always. If you get too much closing line value, forget it. It's just burn the ticket.
It's so. It feels great as you see that number move up, and you're like, man, I got a ticket locked in at, like if you were to bet this now, you'd be laying 300 on it, right? And then it loses.
Story of my life.
Yeah, it loses. Closing line value is not a guaranteed win. Over the long run, it's a fantastic thing, but on a bet by bet basis, it's some of the most frustrating shit you'll ever have to deal with. I've had you hit me up a million times about that.
Of course. There's nothing. It's just, that's why you got to take a long-term view, or you'll end up like me, a crazy person. Because if you're living and dying with each one, you will get the tilt messages, right, to Loughran.
Yeah.
See, now you got me triggered.
I know, but I think it is important to talk about context here with like Derek White and those type of numbers for sure.
Definitely. There's reasons why there's radical shifts in the market with him. It's because of external factors.
Right. I want to look at some parlays here. Let's build a parlay. The tool's been crushing it, so I don't see why we shouldn't be getting into this. All right. Let's go to DraftKings. Okay.
Okay.
How about this? Jordan Walker, total bases under 1.5 is a -180, but the expected win on that is 68%. Okay. So that's what? So the break even 64 on that. We have an X win of 68.
And that's why. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, that's why when you see -180, you know that your X win better be damn high, because you need to clear that a lot of the time to pay for the -180 when you lose. So that's one that's a great cornerstone of a parlay. Oh, who's this guy? Michael Strahan is in there. I don't know, the pitcher for your boys.
Who's Strom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 3.5
strikeouts. That's at 63% expected win percentage, though. 3% XROI, -155. Joel Embiid points, rebounds, and assists. Oh, man. All right. 46.5 against the Celtics. I'm tempted to remove that, but maybe I shouldn't.
Well, you have the option. You know what I think is interesting? And again, this is where personal preference, I would obviously lean to Embiid because he's got a 6% ROI. But if you do remove that, maybe you slide in the Harden one, which is also a pretty positive bet. If you really prefer James Harden, I do think you're sacrificing some ROI, but I don't think it's crazy. They're both positive ROI bets. So you have the best of both worlds if you want a sixer in there.
Yeah, and the only thing I don't love about that is there's some 35.5s out there on Harden, not on DraftKings, but elsewhere. So it's like
45.5.
What's that?
45.5, but yes.
No, on Harden.
Oh, I'm sorry, on Harden. Okay, yeah. So -105 is nice, but at the same time, it is true. It is worth pointing out the extra point matters.
We could go like full baseball parlay here, like a full baseball.
Nothing better than full baseball parlay, sure. Beautiful.
Why not? Look at some of these baseball players.
Why you gotta hate on hockey?
Because it's hockey. Tyler O'Neill.
O'Neill. Okay. You could put Wilson Contreras in there. He grades out. Arenado. Now we're getting somewhere. Even though, well, you can't put him. That's another Cardinal. A lot of Cardinals in here.
Oh yeah, that's why we can't put Tyler O'Neill in there either. You got to go walk. Yeah, a lot of Cardinals in there.
Yeah. Not a lot of love for the Cardinals tonight.
So should we go? All right. Here's one I don't mind. I don't mind Delon Wright under 5.5 rebounds at plus money. Don't hate that. Plus 105. That looks like a decent spot. It's against Milwaukee. They're definitely down a lot of players, and Monte Morris is out today. But if this game gets out of control very quickly, I'm not sure why you wouldn't just see some like additional Goodwin run or something like that. So looking at the X-Win, looking at the XROI on this, plus money bet, 51% at plus 105. I don't hate that at all. You add the fourth one. We're going 4-leg parlay here.
So who do we have in there?
We got Strom. I'm going to bet this, by the way. I'm put 50 spot on this one.
We got Walker. We got Strom. We've got Embiid. Or are you pulling Embiid?
No, I told you the fourth one is you. I'm putting God, there's so many St. Louis plays.
The guy that I want to put in is one of the bets we've talked about a lot. It might be my favorite player tonight. And that's Sengun. Points, rebounds, assists over 27.5. I like that.
You want to do it?
Yeah. I think that he belongs in, he's going to be in a lot of things for me tonight. We talked about the double-double equity, talked about his rebounds. I'm fine with any of these lines. It's not the biggest ROI on the board, but if you're throwing and you say, I don't want Matheson, I don't want any Canadians in there, no hockey, I'm fine with sliding in Sengun.
I already bet that on two different books. So yeah.
Look at that. 5-legger. I like that.
So what do we have? We have Strom, Walker, Sengun,
Wright, and Embiid.
All right, Delon Wright and Embiid. There you go. 18-1. I'm betting this. I may go 4-leg. I might just pull Embiid here and go Wright, Sengun, Walker, and Strom. I think that's what I'm going to do personally.
So related to that, I don't know if it's the right time, but I'm going to mention it anyway for the people. If you do a 4-leg parlay on DraftKings tonight, there is for April 4th or 4/4, there is a 44% boost that you can apply to it.
Beautiful. I wonder what the limit is. Let's see what the limit is. There's got to be.
Oh, there's a limit, I'm sure, but it's still a cool little.
It's great. I'm saying I'm going to use it right now. I'm just trying to see, what it is. All right. Talk for a second. Let me plug this in so we can get an idea of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, plug that in. But again, if you're getting a 44% boost, and number one question we get all the time on the boosts is this a good boost? Well, the number one thing you want to look for when you're talking about boosts, is it a specific boost or a blanket boost? When you get a 44% boost and you can do it on any 4-leg parlay, that's a great boost because you determine the inputs. When we're going to slash this from plus 150 and make it plus 225, it could be effective, but it also could be absolute nonsense. So you really want to be aware of that. It looks like the limit's $50. That's not bad though. A little $900 for your troubles.
Oh, is it 50? All right.
Yeah. It depends. Sometimes with limit, I think it does vary for various reasons, but who couldn't use $900? Yeah. Yeah, there's volume.
All right, cool. I'm in. I'm locked in. I want to look at a few more baseball. Actually, we got a few minutes to go here. Should we do what we can to pull up some of the best bets we have out there on OddsShopper right now since they've been updating?
Sure. Let's just go. Yeah, let's just go to that screen. We'll pull up all bets and let's just see what's going on.
Because Sengun over 3.5 assists on FanDuel right
now.
God, that looks good.
Yeah, chat just pointed that out again. This Sengun is going to be. I'm gonna be cheering for the Rockets tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, me too, man. And I'm gonna need it for sure. I hope Jokic sits as well.
Yes, that would be helpful. But even if he doesn't, I'm okay. This is what you talked about before, kind of that like free roll concept. If he plays, I'm not gonna be like, son of a bitch, all my bets are sunk. I'll just be like, that wasn't ideal. If he sits, now we're off to the races. Big time opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, $50 max wager. So okay. I'm gonna So this is what it comes down to, though. You're right. It's not like, your life is over at all. How much are you willing to spread across bets, though, for a guy like Şengün?
So again, I don't think the number of bets is really important. It's the unit allocation. So if you say, I was going to bet 2 units on over 8.5 rebounds, maybe you bet 1.5 units there and you put 0.5 on the double-double. Maybe you take some of that and go points, rebounds, assists. I think it's fine to get exposure. What you don't want to do is say, okay, I bet all the units I wanted on this, and now I'm going to do more and more. Because, of course, his stats are correlated. You know what I mean? Like, if he plays major minutes, he has a very good chance to sweep or get swept. He twists an ankle. That affects everything equally. So I would just keep that in mind. But I'm okay with adding to my favorite player in terms of the volume out there.
That's what I was asking. Like, okay, for example, you had an allocation.
Yep.
And hopefully, Calvin, for you, hopefully this is more, 400 than 100 level. You had an allocation. You go on the OddsShopper, right? I think this is helpful stuff for anybody.
It's important, yeah.
It's so important. You have your allocation of what you want to get down on Şengün, right? Let's say 2 units. You have 1 unit here, or just maybe a 2-unit bet on Şengün because you love him today. But then you refresh OddsShopper, and it's like, oh man, 10% expected ROI on the over 3.5 assists that just opened up over at FanDuel. Then do you say, hey, look, it's the best bet on the board right now, I still take it?
So if you're properly rolled, it's fine. But if you are really on the more aggressive side, sometimes you got to let stuff pass or really reduce units. I think that's determined on the number of volume that you're looking to do. If you're really tapped out, I would be risk averse to do that. But if you say, I always leave some margin for error because there's going to be unknowns, guys get ruled out, stuff pops up, that's when you want to tap into that reserve and say, okay, I'm going to deploy one of my 3 units that I had just in my back pocket for this type of situation specifically.
Ben and Dave, what about doing PrizePicks? Sure, I can pull a PrizePicks parlay builder up for you.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah. And we also got to do the community parlay today.
Oh,
go for the hat trick. Go 3-0.
We're going for the hat trick. And I believe
what's that?
It's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. What's the taco?
Scherzer. K's.
I assume they lowered strikeouts.
I believe they did. It was at 7.5, and I believe it's down to 6 flat. So if he lands on 6, you're pushing. 7 is a win. So you're shaving a couple Ks off there. Yeah, there it is. Look at this. We got it. We're a fine-tuned machine here at OddsShopper.
All right. So over 6.5 on DraftKings -165. FanDuel has over 7.5 at even money.
Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, we have to add Scherzer there. It's still the best play on the board, hands down.
Oh, 100%. You're going to use Scherzer. And then it's open season where you want to go. You've got so many different options. I'm looking at PrizePicks. And again, this is all part of the free week. So if you're like, oh, I have no use for any of this shit except the PrizePicks, come on in and get your free week. No strings attached. Look at the spread, though.
Links in the description, by the way, and in chat.
Yeah, link is right there. Click it, and you're in. Shots on goal. Total bases. Vooch is in here. I mean, you can hit 3 sports, no problem. Murray from the Hawks, over 22.5 points. You talked about him with no Trae Young. Acuna. A lot of guys, big names on the PrizePicks parlay builder here.
Yeah, man. Now, with Acuna and with Vooch, we have to make room for the Scherzer taco, right?
Yes.
So we got to eliminate something. We've learned from I forget his name. Who wrote that article for us? It was fantastic on PrizePicks.
I'm gonna credit Alex Moraine, man behind the scenes, but I don't know if that's true.
Okay, what I do know is it essentially illustrated and laid out why the 5-pick flex play is the best as far as expected ROI goes.
So we're going 5 total.
Well, that's just, I mean, he laid it out for us.
No, that's fine. So first things first, I want to get one of the Braves. Maybe we knock both off, but I want one of the Braves out there because there are some limitations within teams. So I would throw out one of the Braves, and then we'll see who else we want to kick out for Scherzer.
All right. Well, then let's
get Albies out of there.
And Albies have the same X win, and we're not worried about XRI. Yeah. Okay. So go. You want to get Albies out?
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to leave Vooch since he's at 17 and a half other places, and we already like the over on his points?
I would vote for I like Vooch. To me, it would be we kick out one of the total bases guys, but that's just me.
Okay. Your call.
Get Pena out of here.
Okay. We want to keep DeJounte Murray with no Trae Young today going up against the Bulls.
Pace up spot.
No, pace down spot for Murray.
No, I just mean I thought we were talking about Vooch.
Oh, for Vooch, absolutely. Yeah.
It's 16 and a half, and I'm fine with attaching Murray.
Me too.
There. I have no problem with that.
And not a wild spread on this game either. It's at 6 points. It was at 4 before Trae. Bulls just aren't very good. All right, let's lead. Did you get rid of Pena, you said?
Yeah, he's gone. So we've got 4 there. You're going to add in Scherzer. And again, the beautiful thing about this, if you say, I don't want to sweat hockey, bounce that guy out and put in whoever you want. We have all the ROIs right there, the X wins for you on PrizePicks. So you can pick and choose what makes the most sense.
Yeah. And if you're not on PrizePicks, Mike just threw the link in there, $100 first match deposit bonus. So if you deposit 100, your account's going to say 200. If you put 50 in, it's going to say 100. Hell, you only have 10 to play with, it's going to say 20. So you're getting 100% deposit match bonus up to $100, which is a real nice promo to have. All right. And guy, last thing, if you're in Colorado, Utah, why do I always say Utah? Colorado,
the Mormons,
they don't even have betting. They don't even have betting. I know. Colorado, New Jersey, Virginia, or Ohio, bet 365. It's the best promo in the country right now, hands down. We just had it's bet $1, get $200 in bonus bets. We just had a guy, Ginger Hammers, tweet us, and he goes, "You guys have done some amazing promos, but I think I like this one from Bet 365 the best." Shows us a screenshot of March 25th through the 31st, so 1 week, where he deposited $10, he bet $1, got his 200 in bonus bets, and his account was up to $1,446. Dude turned $1 into $1,446 in a week. Look, is that an outlier? Like, is everyone just going to go 4 figures on that? No, but even if you lose it all, you're only down $1, dude.
It's fantastic. There's nothing else to say. Again, it's super easy to claim. It's right there again in the description. You are in those states. Make sure you take advantage. You do have to be 21 plus. Be responsible. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Or text it. You can text
it. You can do that.
Or you can't, but you should. Only if you have a problem, though. But yeah, legitimately the best promo out there. It's 1 in the 200. And they don't tell us when these are going away. We just find out. So if you're sitting on the fence in Colorado, New Jersey, Utah, or Virginia, take advantage.
Not Utah. God.
I didn't say it. I didn't say
yes,
Utah.
You did.
I didn't. I said Virginia.
You said Utah, and thank you.
Did I?
Yes.
I got a mental block there. That's wild.
Of all the states, too. Like, literally the last state that would ever have this.
Hold on. And they don't tell us when these are going away. We just find out. So you're sitting on the fence in Colorado, New Jersey, Utah, Virginia. Fuck, I did.
Yeah, man. You don't listen to your
Ohio, Virginia, Colorado, and New Jersey.
Yes. You're going to incept me. Stop saying this because I have it down for mine.
Me too, but for some, I know the states.
Doesn't sound like it.
I just don't, I know them, but I can't. That is wild. Anyway, community parlay. Ready to wrap this one up?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
All right, let's hit on the community first.
Okay.
Because the last 2 shows you and I did, community nailed it.
Listen.
Oh, God. They went Sixers.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, don't argue with the community. That's the community has spoken.
I'll ride with you boys tonight. All right.
Okay.
I don't love it, but I'll ride with you. Listen, it's a spread for a reason. It's not like, it's still -2.5, right? Like, it's not that, it's where it should be. So, all right, we got Sixers. Where are you going next?
Going to the ice. I like this angle. I've been doing this. I had the Kraken last night. They won 8-1. It's pretty simple. It's these teams at home that really desperately need 2 points, who are in the playoff hunt. The Florida Panthers absolutely need it. They are very juicy. So I'm going to call for the Panthers in regulation. So they can't go to overtime. Panthers in regulation at -115 over on DraftKings. So that is one. I really like the spot for them. They're on home ice and they have to have these games. Elite scoring team. Sabres coming to town. Panthers win like 6-3 tonight.
Okay. Love it. Should we just go with one that we've been talking about all day? I mean, I feel like it's only appropriate. Should we get the Şengün points in there?
So I will say,
points,
last
rebounds.
week, when we hit these, the formula, community did their thing. I kind of went off the wall, and you went with kind of the best bet we talked about, and it worked out beautifully. So I'm all for that.
I've done that twice in a row now where we like it. It profiles well. Let's go over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists on Alperen Şengün at -115.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Beautiful.
This will be a good one. This will be a little less, like 560 range.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Not bad.
Listen, 40% of the community on the Sixers. So I'll ride with it. Like I said, ALPEREN. No, ALPERE. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, ALPEREN SEN. I'll let you spell Şengün on your own, actually. Let you have some fun with that one. It's all right. +567. There we go. Hey, follow Ben at JazzRaz DFS, me at Laffy_D. Keep telling Ben, hey, Ben, get in that chalkboard. We're all in there. It's free. And the app is awesome. You can sync all your sports books. The box scores are in there. It's basically Discord, but better because it's completely built for sports betting. And all the picks are free. Greg hit a +1100 home run in there yesterday for the community.
Not only did he hit that, did you see the screenshot of the guy that bet $10,000 on that?
No.
And he won $11,000.
Damn. All right.
Just from the like, oh, he was like, yeah, Greg really liked this. I'm like, oh, what did this guy do? Dear God.
He just sprinkled.
Living the life. People have time machines. I swear to God. I mean, that's fantastic, but just like, okay.
Amazing. Well, JazzRaz DFS, me at Laffy_D, LOUGHY_D. And as I mentioned to the chalkboard community, Ben, tonight, after first tip, somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock, going to be doing 5, like I said, because I told him it's coming. Once we hit 1K, doing 5 monthly Bet Pro giveaways, and we have baseball for that too now. Nice little sweetener to the pot, you know?
Never bad.
We'll see you guys back here. Shout out to Mike for producing this one, and we'll see you back on me and Ben on Thursday, but they'll be back here tomorrow on the odds. Is it you and Eitan or Eric and Eitan?
I believe it's me and Eitan.
All right, cool. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck tonight. Peace.